Namaskara and welcome to Season 2 of our village story. A story of moving onto the land. Not as a farmer, but as an urban woman with big dreams and a belief that passion would be enough. This is not a guide, not a lesson, it is a lived story. This is a village story. Season 2, The Land Beckons. If you are the person who feels called by the land, then this season is for you. So grab a cup of chai and settle in. Griha Pravesha was done. The rituals, guests, a grand lunch. Everything that marks a beginning completed neatly. By late afternoon, my mother was ready to leave for Mysore. Before she did, she turned to me and said something simple, almost casually. The house should not stand vacant today. You have to sleep here tonight. That is when it landed. This structure, the small single room space with many unfinished walls, was not a project anymore. It was home. Not someday, from tonight. A place I would call home from now on. I remember understanding very suddenly what it meant to grow roots. Not metaphorically, physically. Even though my body was exhausted, packing a pillow and blanket from the village house filled me with a kind of excitement that words still fail to hold. Each step carried joy and also a quiet nervousness resting on my shoulders. By evening, I was back on the land, not visiting, arriving, ready, at least in my mind, to become a part of her. As the sun went down, that bright orange ball sinking slowly, the farm began preparing for the night. It was January 2018. The chill crept in gently, almost respectfully, as though the sun had been holding it back all day, warming the land, the soil, every living thing on it. And now he had given the cold permission to spread her tentacles. Darkness, stillness, strangely, neither scared me that first night. If anything, they felt safe. It felt like the land was holding me, like an embrace. I remember thinking of Sita, the daughter of the earth, returning to her mother. The strongest sensory memory from that day is not the cold, not the silence, it is warmth. A warmth that moved through my entire being, stronger than the nervousness. There was also a thought I did not say out loud, a feeling of bravery, the belief that coming to the land meant achievement, success, a name, that I would become a farmer, a damn successful one. That people would look at this farm in awe and say, "She's done a wonderful job, hasn't she?" The first discomfort arrived quietly. The realization that now everything depended on us. Water, food, basic comforts. There was no one to turn to on the land. The village suddenly felt farther away, not hostile, just not ours on an everyday basis. If we needed something, We had to stand up, work, and make sure it existed. No shortcuts. Looking back now, that confidence feels different. That naivety, it feels like arrogance. Arrogance born from not knowing the land, her ecosystems, her seasons, her pace, and still believing I could arrive, take charge, and achieve on her. That night, though, I didn't know any of this yet. I just slept. On the land, sleep came easily. Not the restless kind, not the questioning kind. It came with a strange certainty. As though the land itself had decided to keep watch. I could feel the cold seep in gently, touching my skin, reminding me that this house was still becoming just like me. There were no city sounds to interrupt the night, no distant traffic, no neighbors moving through thin walls, just silence. And somewhere within it, the faint sounds of the land breathing. Every now and then, a rustle, a call from an unseen creature, the wind testing the edges of the structure. Each sound reminded me this was not a controlled space. This land was alive. I lay there thinking about morning, about waking up here, about the first cup of tea on the land, the first sunrise. I imagined routines forming easily, days falling into rhythm, work flowing naturally. I imagined belonging quietly, without effort. What I did not imagine was how demanding this belonging would be, how much it would ask before it gave. That night, confidence still held my hand. It whispered that things would work out, that passion would compensate for preparation, that effort would automatically translate into results. I believed that love for the land was enough. Lying there, I felt proud. Proud of choosing differently, of stepping away from the predictable, of being brave enough to begin again. I did not yet understand that the land does not respond to pride. She responds to patience, to listening, to time, none of which I had learned yet. Outside, the night continued uninterrupted. The land did not celebrate my arrival. She did not resist it either. She simply existed, steady, indifferent, waiting, and in that waiting, a quiet question hovered, unasked, unanswered. Are you ready for what it takes to stay? I slept before I could respond. This was only the first night. Before the learning began, before the unlearning, before the land started speaking back. The land does not reveal everything at once. She works slowly. What came next changed more than expected, but that is a story for another day. Before we close, a small reflection. New beginnings feel blissful and full of promise. They make us believe we are ready until reality humbles us. Stepping out of the fantasies we build in our minds and meeting life as it is may feel uncomfortable. but it is necessary. Only then can learning begin, without shock, without illusion. This is a village story, season 2. Namaskara and take care.